Hey guys, quick video here on the soil amendment process. So you start with a soil test. This is from Midwestern Bioag, and you're gonna take soil samples from where you're planting. So there's a whole process for that. I would recommend looking that up. I can do a video on it if you need me to. And then you mail them to Midwestern Bioag. This is the best place that I've seen do soil tests. It's really nice. And they're going to tell you your pH, your organic matter, your macronutrients, and your micronutrients. And they're going to tell you what you have and then what is ideal. And then you will so when you see what you have and then what it should be determines how much you get, and is generally figured in tons per acre, because most of the time you're dealing with people, or they're dealing with bigger farms. So you figure 1 ton per acre. There's a math equation that you can do to figure out what you need. Alright, I was editing this video and I completely sucked at explaining it, so I'm going to show you your fertilization calculation and what we would do for one plot here. So, assuming that it's 1 ton per acre, which is 2,000 pounds, you're going to do 1 ton over the square footage per acre is the same thing as X over your square footage that you're amending. So, 2,000 times 4,000 is going to give you 8 million. And then you're going to take 8 million divided by the square footage per acre, which is going to give you 183.65. So you need 185 pounds basically, or a little over 175 pounds to amend your 4,000 square foot plot. That's 10 100-foot beds, 30 inches wide, and 18-inch walkways. So now you can buy your stuff. Like, you're gonna know what you need. Assuming it's a ton per acre, you know that you're gonna need, like 4 50-pound bags of amendments to do 10 beds, basically. Good people to work with soil things. I called Ellen Polishuk and was like, hey, you got 35 years experience, what do you think? And I've been working with soil and tests and stuff like that for like 8 years, and I still called her. I'm not afraid to do that, because I'm not going to be like, well, if I just buy this stuff in the bottle it's going to work. No, it's way more involved than that. There's just really important to do it right. That stuff can be found on YouTube. You can listen to those people. I listen to them quite a bit. Just the new soil science or thinking in soil and stuff like that. That's cool. But for the basics of how we did our amendments, that calculation pretty much determines everything. So you have bad phosphorus. You need to do a ton of phosphorus or 2 tons of phosphorus per acre. Do the calculation, figure out how many bags you need per plot, then order that many bags, and then put it down accordingly. So after you do that and you figure out what you need, there's recommendations per nutrient to get you up to what is ideal. You just act accordingly and go and purchase those amendments. So, okay. So, pH, we'll start with your pH. To raise your pH, you're going to use lime. To lower your pH, you're going to use sulfur. And if your pH is around 7, 6.5, 7, you're pretty good. And if your organic matter is low, add compost or old leaf compost, whatnot. To put things right into the soil, you're looking at, you don't really want to mend the actual soil with anything but compost. You don't want to put wood chips in your soil and mix them in. You can put them on top. That brings me to another point. So the reason of doing the soil test is to get the soil chemistry right before you go and focus on the soil biology. So I can go hardcore on all this biology stuff, and it was going to take longer to make what's there available, as opposed to making it available now, and then working, because this is all a long-term thing, is just practical. And these are organic amendments. Like, yeah, you gotta pay for them, but if your soil isn't good to begin with, you gotta pay for it. If everybody managed soil correctly, we wouldn't have to buy any amendments. So, yeah, I'll show you guys the amendments. These are all organic inputs, and yeah, I just amended, I don't know how many beds, but we did transplanting, and we'll see how it goes. So this is your phosphorus Tennessee brown rock. It's basically just crushed up rock and dirt. Looks like soil in Tennessee. Calcium carbonate, that's your lime. You see that? Azomite, that's our micronutrients. And for nitrogen, we got feather meal and some stuff called Harmony. There's also, for potassium, there's sulfate of potash. And got some liquid things, EM1, Neptune's Harvest, and endomycorrhizing. I'll show you guys those. Alright, this is the Neptune's Harvest tomato. Yeah, it's just a tomato liquid fertilizer. I normally put all this stuff in with the transplants, so it's there. That can go into drip irrigation, or can just be applied with a watering can. It's probably what I'll end up doing. Fish emulsion. That's fish emulsion, you can get that anywhere. And actually, this stuff that we use to wash our clothes can be a boron amendment. So like that's like a foliar spray. So for brassicas and stuff, that's used a bit. And endomycorrhizal inoculant. So you can get ectomycorrhizae or endomycorrhizae, and endo is what you want for annuals. And then the good stuff. Oh my God, there we go. EM1. So what did I say this is? It's a microbe inoculant. You can use this for a lot of stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much what I did for amendments, and plus compost. That's gonna be on the way here soon. And yeah, pH, organic matter, macro, micro, getting your soil test, taking your soil test right, and amending. So when it like 100 tons per acre, you go through that fert calc, and then you gotta figure out what you got put in per bed. That's a whole nother thing, whole nother calculation. So if you need 183 pounds per plot, just figure out how much square foot is in bed space, or just broadcast it on an empty plot and then work it in accordingly. But yeah, I think that covers just about most of what we did for amendments. And just don't take the easy route out. Just do the work, do the studying, read about it. Yeah, it's not going to be a quick fix regardless. Number one, because it's organic, and number two, that doesn't exist in nature. So yeah, hope that was helpful. Just comment, this sucked, this is alright, I'm tired of you shaking the camera, whatever. Alright guys, thanks.